GamingBolt presents 15 strangest discoveries in video games. Mysteries are abound in every aspect of life. We're drawn to them, obsessed with them, and solving them even if they don't yield all of the answers we seek. Video games are no different, with their strange mysteries, and even as things go unsolved for years, there are still some amazing discoveries that gamers have found. Let's take a look at 15 of them here, now. Keep in mind that if your favorite strange discovery isn't mentioned, then it's likely covered in another video. John Romero's head, Doom 2. Perhaps the epitome of strange discoveries, Doom 2 players discovered id Software co-founder John Romero's head behind the icon of sin when the no-clip mode was activated. It's interesting because Romero's head is actually the weak point for the boss, and he even says you need to kill him, with his words running backwards, of course. Statue of Liberty, Grand Theft Auto 4. The quest to get to the center of the Statue of Liberty is convoluted and, not the very least, full of warnings that no secrets are to be found. Eventually, when you reach the heart, you discover that it's actually a heart that's beating. Why? Well, stranger things have been thrown into video game open worlds. Take our next entry, for example. Island from Lost, Just Cause 2. The island from the hit TV show Lost had the good fortune of being featured in Just Cause 2. Dubbed Hantu Island, it's full of references to the show's events, including the hatch, the smoke monster, a crashed bearing I-86DP, and the word search in the sand. You may find the whole point to Lost on the island as well. No promises, though. Dead Ops Arcade, Call of Duty Black Ops. Say what you will about Treyarch, but it knows how to do Call of Duty secrets, especially when zombies are concerned. In Call of Duty Black Ops 1, you can actually break out of your restraints in the main menu. Walk over to the nearby computer and you'll be able to play Dead Ops Arcade. The overhead shooter is no Smash TV, but it was a great addition to the overall package. Wesker's Desk, Resident Evil 2. If you did this, we don't know what to say. So what does that tell you about the guy who found it? In Resident Evil 2, if you head over to Wesker's desk and search it 50 times, no more, no less, you'll find Film D. This is Rebecca Chambers, the STARS officer/medic from the first game who went on to join the BSAA, Chris's organization in the later games. As for the basketball uniform, well, we've got nothing. Sound test image, Sonic CD. Sonic CD and demons? Believe it or not, but you could actually find some too spooky nonsense floating about in the classic platformer. Hit down, 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 left, right, and A at the title screen. This will open a sound test, and upon entering a specific sequence, you'll find a creepy image with 24 creepy Sonic faces looking at you. Bizarre or a precursor to Sonic 2006? I'll let you decide. Jean's story, No More Heroes. Remember in No More Heroes when Travis confronts Jean and learns about her backstory? It's sped up by default for comedic value, and only Travis's reactions indicate the presence of anything actually shocking. As it turns out, someone actually slowed down the speech to normal speed, and it's a lot more messed up than you'd think. If anything, Travis's shocked expressions are at the weirdest times. Living in a dirty house? Come on, Travis, that's hardly tragic. Creeper Cavern, Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is full of references to popular titles from Dungeons & Dragons to Dark Souls. It also pays respect to Minecraft by having a cavern full of creepers. Check the northwest part of Caustic Caverns until you find an entrance with square boulders. Travel through it and you'll face one creeper after another before a badass creeper finally emerges. And yes, he does make a bigger explosion than the others. Mount Chiliad, Grand Theft Auto 5. Gamers can be a persistent bunch, especially Grand Theft Auto fans who want to unravel every secret that the developer has in store. Case in point, Mount Chiliad and the mysterious shed at the top in Grand Theft Auto 5. In the shed is a mural with a UFO, jetpack, and an Easter egg. Though other mysteries like Bigfoot and Teen Wolf have been solved with the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game, this continues to baffle even the best detectives. Cavemen, Halo 3 and ODST. The Cavemen make several appearances in Halo 3. There's the family of cavemen you can find to the left of where Sergeant Major Johnson's pelican goes down. A lone caveman can be found on the cliff near Johnson when rescuing him, and another caveman is in the Charlie Foxtrot chapter. In Halo 3 ODST, you can even spot Buck grooming a caveman in the epilogue. Why do all of the cavemen have the face of Bungie's Marcus R. Leto? Honestly, that's just another why for the pile at this point. Creepy faces. Game Boy camera. The Game Boy camera was already an unorthodox device, but this cemented it as straight up weird. If you selected the run option on one of the menus, you'd be treated to various bizarre faces with the words, "Who are you running from?" These faces would appear at different times and often followed by a picture that said, "Don't be so silly." Sure, they're ridiculous now, but when we were kids, nightmare fuel, plain and simple. RATMAN, Portal 2. It's not immediately obvious, but Doug RATMAN, aka RATMAN, a scientist at Aperture Science Lab in Portal, is observing Chell from afar. He's the one who scribbles the words, "The cake is a lie," and was even behind Chell's selection as a test subject in the first place. The Lab Rat comic covers his story in more detail, and it's a further testament to how wrong things can go for an enemy of GLaDOS. Do not delete chest, Skyrim. In the college at Winterhelm, you'll find a rather odd chest called Do Not Delete. Located under the Arcanum, it contains several books and magic tomes. You even have the option of taking the chest, which is worth 500 gold and weighs 0.5 pounds. Despite how bizarre it is, you should leave it alone. Taking the chest apparently crashes your game and causes other terrible breaks. Long story short, don't get greedy. Ghosts, Metal Gear Solid. Ghost may be the least surprising thing to appear in the Metal Gear Solid series since, well, that one guy riding a flaming horse or that enormous flaming whale in the Phantom Pain. The ghosts in Metal Gear Solid 1 are different though. They're actually members of the development team that can only be spotted when you have the camera out in specific places. We'll save you the trouble of finding Kojima. Just head to the Police Knots frame in Otacon's lab, pull out your camera, and bam, there he is. More ghosts. World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is teeming with lots of amazing things, and that obviously includes ghosts. Visible by any player on the other side, it's possible to find ghosts from previous questlines. The ghost of Nicole Nicci, a parody of Nicole Richie, who's always around Harris Pilton, and the denizens of Caer Doro, who are only visible if you keep your spectral essence. Suffice it to say, there are tons of NPCs in the background that you wouldn't have even noticed. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.